Tonight, where are the two men suspected in 3 BC murders?
The suspects may have inadvertently received assistance in leaving the area.
The search continues in northern Manitoba, but the last confirmed sighting was days ago.
With all that's going on, some people just don't feel safe leaving their house.
We'll take you to communities on edge.
Old tensions flaring again.
He made it clear this morning he's not going to apologize for what he conceives as the truth.
A land transfer billed as an act of reconciliation sparks new anger in Oka. We'll take you to the heart of the dispute. Plus, a record-breaking prize pool for some of the world's top gamers.
I don't think esports is going away anytime soon. The showmanship is just a sign of things to come.
After this weekend, you will not look at esports the same way again. This is The National.
And we begin this evening with a breaking story from here in British Columbia. 4 people have been killed in a float plane crash off the northern tip of Vancouver Island. We're told 5 other people on board managed to survive, but their conditions have not yet been disclosed. The crash happened just after 11 a.m. today Pacific time, that's 2 Eastern, on Addenbrooke Island, about 100 kilometers north of Port Hardy. Megan Batchelor's here in our Vancouver newsroom with the latest. And Megan, what do we know now about what happened?
Well, Ian, we know that this is still very much an active situation with emergency services on scene at Addenbrooke Island to bring those surviving passengers to Port Hardy, still on Vancouver Island, and over onto Vancouver. You're seeing pictures from 2009 when this same company that was involved in today's crash had a similar crash back in 2009 when 6 passengers were killed. In today's case, we aren't getting any pictures from the scene just yet, but we do know that 4 people have been killed, 4 others survived. We don't know what kind of condition they are in at this point. We also know that the charter plane is owned by Sea Air, and the plane in question was a Cessna 208. We also have been told that the weather conditions at the time were quite rainy. There was low visibility as well, but we don't know exactly what's happened to lead up to this crash. But we do know that there is still a very much active situation on Addenbrooke Island, which is just off the coast of central BC, Ian. And
of course, just after 6 o'clock in the evening here in British Columbia. And so there is a lot still to work on this story. We'll talk to you again with another live update in an hour's time. Thank you very much, Megan.
You're welcome.
Well, to our other major developing story here in Canada, a new possibility is being raised in the search for alleged killers Briar Schmegelsky and Cam McLeod. Even as the RCMP combs through the forest near Gillam, Manitoba, they said the pair may have slipped out.
Our investigators are also exploring the possibility that the suspects may have inadvertently received assistance in leaving the area. It is possible that someone may not have been aware of who they were providing assistance to and may now be hesitant to come forward.
So police are saying that people right across the country should remain vigilant. And they also released this video of the pair in a Saskatchewan store from Sunday, days after 3 people in BC were murdered. And tonight, police confirmed the teens were also spotted in Cold Lake, Alberta that day. Someone helped them get their vehicle unstuck from a trail. Today, though, given the evidence the police have, Gillam, Manitoba does remain the epicenter of the search. It's a remote town of just 1,100 people. And today, police reveal they'll start going door to door. As Angela Johnston shows us, the fugitives and the push to find them have people there on edge.
At the train station in Gillam today, officers boarded an incoming Via Rail train, on the hunt for anything out of place. With a heat-sensing drone in the sky and a little extra help on the ground, this concerted effort to track down the 2 suspects who remain on the run comes on a day when the elements are not working in anyone's favor.
Hello, good afternoon.
RCMP say it's possible the 2 aren't even in this area anymore, but they're still doubling down here.
Over the next 72 hours, investigators will conduct door-to-door canvasses in the town of Gillam and Fox Lake Cree Nation in hopes of generating new tips and information.
Under the strain of the attention and the manhunt, people here are looking out for each other as well as the suspects. Everybody welcome. Although the reality of this ongoing case is always present, the manager here says she's taking care to make sure staff are not working alone.
If somebody doesn't want to come to work because they're not comfortable with all that's going on, some people just don't feel safe leaving their house, then that's their prerogative and that's okay.
People are also banding together in Fox Lake Cree Nation. This crew is building a shelter for a community bonfire. After days of being holed up in their homes on edge, they're sharing food and feelings.
The isolation is just, I think it gets to be too much for people, and that way they could share, talk about what's going on, and instead of staying home and just being, frightened,
But always top of mind is the question, when will this all end? And how?
I'm just hoping and praying that they get caught soon, because this is crazy. I just hope it ends peacefully and nobody else gets hurt.
This search is about to get a boost. Canada's public safety minister says military air support is on the way. Another tool for investigators as this search drags on. Angela Johnston, CBC News, Gillam.
If McLeod and Schmigelski are still out in the wilderness as the police move closer, we wondered what their state of mind would be. Katie Nicholson took that question to the experts.
When it comes to taking down a threat, few have as much experience as Tom Sharkey. In his decades-long career, Sharkey oversaw some of Toronto's most tense tactical moments, like this 2004 hostage-taking outside Union Station. He says the first thing police need to do once they find the suspects is contain them.
They have to sanitize the area. Nobody can get in, nobody can get out. Position your officers in a position where they have good cover or good concealment. Bring in the units, attach sniper units and various other things to add to the containment area. And once that's attained, they will try to negotiate.
He says RCMP likely already have psychological profiles of the men because how that conversation begins is critical.
First 30 minutes is usually the most dangerous time of the encounter with a person. Adrenaline pump, fight or flight syndrome set in.
But getting a read on fugitives, especially those suspected of multiple homicides, is tough.
They feel a sense of thrill because they're on the run, they're evading law, but that feeling quickly dissipates and changes once they realize that they are the prime suspects in a national manhunt.
Ju-Young Lee is a sociologist at the University of Toronto. He says the suspects are likely running on adrenaline.
People who are on the lam realize that their options are running thin. They go into fight or flight mode and they become very desperate. And these are typically moments that are extraordinarily volatile.
That volatility could fracture the bonds between the two suspects. Sharkey says he's seen it many times during his career.
Maybe I'm just going along for the ride, the one guy, and hey, this isn't what I expected. I hadn't expected it. We've killed somebody and the police are looking for me. Or you get a suicide pact, one of them commits suicide and the other guy surrenders.
If their desperation doesn't rip them apart, he says it could present a real danger to others.
What's to stop them from taking a hostage? What's to stop them from killing someone, taking their vehicle and going off? What's to stop them from jumping on a train?
Precisely the fear now spreading from northern Manitoba and commanding vigilance across the country. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Lindsay, Ontario.
On the flip side of all of that is what the police are thinking as they track these fugitives. In about 20 minutes, my conversation with the former director of the RCMP's Behavioral Sciences Branch. And Andrew, you're looking into a conflict in Quebec that is raising potent memories of a bitter divide.
Yeah, Ian, a potential land deal is pitting a First Nation against a small town. And today, their two leaders had a chance to work together on the issue, but instead, an emotional impasse. Now, it's easier to understand their rift when you realize that the town at the center of this is Oka.
There's nothing going on.
In 1990, protesters from the Ganasatake First Nation formed an armed barricade. They wanted to stop a municipal golf course from expanding into an area called the Pines. So the entire country saw images like this, a months-long standoff seared into the national consciousness. And it's that same contentious parcel of land at the heart of these new tensions. All of this is about an hour west of Montreal. Here's the town site, and here's the nearby Mohawk land as things stand now. But a developer wants to give 60 hectares of land to the Ganasatake Mohawks through the federal government's Ecological Gifts program. He also wants to sell them another 150 hectares. But the mayor of Oka hates the idea, saying his town would be, quote, surrounded by Mohawks. So the chief and the mayor were invited to meet today in Montreal, along with federal and provincial officials. But as Simon Nakonechny explains, it did not go well.
They didn't shake hands. They didn't talk. And as far as Serge Simon is concerned, his relationship with the mayor of Oka is at a dead end.
My council and I decided that we were not going to give this mayor any more importance than he's looking for. So he made it clear this morning he's not going to apologize for what he conceives as the truth when he describes my community.
Last week, Mayor Pascal Quevillon told a newspaper that a controversial land deal would leave his town surrounded by Mohawks, saying Kanesatake is filled with illegal dumps, cannabis dispensaries, and cigarette stores. The chief called the comments racist and demanded an apology, which didn't come.
J'ai peut-être pas utilisé certaines paroles ou certains mots que certains auraient voulu entendre. Je m'en excuse, mais le fond est réel et c'est la vérité.
Mayor Quevillon even raised the specter of the 1990 armed standoff at Oka, a 78-day crisis that gripped the country. But this time, it would be the townspeople rising up.
I think the only one speaking about another crisis is the mayor of Oka and yourselves as media. We haven't given that impression or that perception.
Chief Picard says there's no reason for the mayor of Oka to be at the table anyway, that the Mohawks should deal nation to nation with Quebec and Ottawa, and that if Ottawa had resolved their land claims after the first Oka crisis, he says there'd be no talk now of a second. Simon Nakonechny, CBC News, Montreal.
Police in Ontario announced a major bust today, charging 11 people for trafficking drugs right over people's heads. You see, 2 of those charged were employees of Sunwing Airlines. Lisa Shing tells us more about a very illegal and troubling airmail service.
They were long-term Sunwing employees.
Police wouldn't say much more about the 2 men charged in a cocaine trafficking ring, just that they worked at Toronto's Pearson Airport. According to a source with knowledge of the investigation, both were in airplane maintenance. The RCMP says the smugglers were operating well before the probe.
Throughout the term of our investigation, which was approximately a year and a half, it was ongoing and had been established prior to that.
The undercover operation led to the arrests of 9 others in southern Ontario and the seizure of $10 million worth of drugs like fentanyl.
Millions of doses. This is a significant impact to southwestern Ontario.
The fentanyl seized came from Mexico. Police say the cocaine the Sunwing workers smuggled came from South America, stopping over in Jamaica and possibly Aruba, the Dominican, and Costa Rica, all destinations the company services.
There's a long history of drug trafficking at Canadian airports. Flight attendants and airport workers have done jail time, including those from Montreal, Winnipeg, and Toronto.
Airlines and airports are a tempting target for traffickers, and that troubles this national security expert.
We have seen also people within the airport ecosystem who've contributed to actual terror events. And so it's a real environment of sophisticated and very dangerous threat actors.
He says it's tough to monitor these threats because running an airport requires a lot of coordination.
So they're almost like mini cities, and they have multiple levels of stakeholders, private employers, municipal, provincial, national, and sometimes international security agencies, and multiple pieces of legislation that govern them.
Sunwing says it's working closely with the RCMP. The 2 employees are suspended, their security clearance revoked as the investigation continues. Lisa Shing, CBC News, Toronto.
Scandalously disappointed. That's how Hassan Diab feels about the findings of an investigation into his extradition to France in 2014. It concluded the Canadian government acted properly, despite the fact that Diab spent years in prison without charge. The CBC's David Cochran has more on the search for justice.
He spent 3 years in a French prison for a crime he did not commit. He's just been told the system worked.
We boycotted the external review because we believed that it would amount to a whitewash exercise. It is profoundly upsetting to see our concerns and fears materializing.
France imprisoned Diab while it tried to link him to this bombing outside a Paris synagogue. But Canada turned him over to French justice, even though the evidence was weak and Diab had an alibi. His lawyer says the review was rigged to exonerate the government.
The government retained a career prosecutor to conduct a behind closed doors review with no transparency in the process for Canadians.
That career prosecutor is Murray Siegel, the former Deputy Attorney General of Ontario.
They found that the Department of Justice Counsel acted totally professionally and ethically. I believe that the Extradition Act is working.
Siegel rejected claims by Diab and his lawyer that Canadian prosecutors were overzealous. Diab is angry that Canada stepped in when the French case was about to collapse and directed France to replace discredited evidence. Canadian lawyers got court delays to allow France to do that. But when fingerprint samples didn't match, those results were never shared with the defense. The report agrees all of that happened, but says that's just the way extradition works.
This is a report that excuses all the conduct of the Department of Justice. It endorses all of the troubling aspects of the current extradition law and system in Canada.
I have a great deal of sympathy for Dr. Diab and for his family.
The Justice Minister accepts the findings that his department did nothing wrong, but can improve.
There are certainly recommendations there that will help. You can always make a process better.
14 recommendations, including to share evidence with the defense even when there's no obligation to do so, and to seek assurances of a speedy trial so Canadians won't languish in a foreign cell as Diab did. None of which helps him or restores what he lost.
My reputation was tarnished. My financial savings were wiped out. My physical and mental health deteriorated. And most importantly, I missed the birth of my son and more than 3 years of my children's lives.
He's been told the system works fine. He says the system is the problem. David Cochran, CBC News, Ottawa.
Well, the long march to the 2020 election is already well underway in the U.S., and on the day the Congress began a summer recess, 2 Democratic congresswomen looked to end a public spat. Infighting within the party is proving to be a gift for Republicans. So Speaker Nancy Pelosi and progressive Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez made a show of patching the cracks in caucus. Still, Lindsay Duncombe shows us just what remains below the surface.
After weeks of public sparring, all smiles, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi tweeted this picture and told reporters her meeting with superstar freshman Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was positive.
Do you think you were able to bury the hatchet with Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez in your meeting?
I don't think there ever was any hatchet. It's like you're in a family. In a family, you have your differences, but you're still a family.
Maybe so, but this family's been fighting and all the neighbors know about it. Ocasio-Cortez, or AOC, is among the most progressive Democrats, a waitress turned politician who knocked out a party leader in her primary. She's just 29 and a social media superstar. AOC has called for the president's impeachment and pushes back against more moderate leadership.
We are the House of Representatives and we are a House majority, and we need to act like it.
Ocasio-Cortez and 3 other congresswomen of color who call themselves the Squad recently voted against their party over a border bill. Nancy Pelosi dismissed the social media stars in an interview, saying they don't have any following. They're 4 people, and that's how many votes they got. Ocasio-Cortez countered in an interview of her own, calling the most powerful Democrat in the country disrespectful, accusing Pelosi of singling out newly elected women of color. The infighting has given Republicans an opening.
I really think they must hate our country.
Donald Trump has attacked the Squad with language widely condemned as racist and accused AOC of pushing her party dangerously to the left.
Her leftist radical agenda is in the fore in the Democrat Party.
Democrats appear to have decided the best way to respond to those attacks is as a team.
It was a positive meeting.
A unified message, at least for now. Lindsay Duncombe, CBC News, Washington.
Still ahead on the national, more on the manhunt in northern Manitoba. We'll look at the police strategy so far.
But first, a different kind of World Cup.
You ever get used to all this attention?
Yeah, a little bit.
How gamers are looking to cash in on the biggest prize in esports history. Well, this may look like some kind of cartoon theme park, but it's actually a top-tier esports event, the Fortnite World Cup. And if you haven't played or watched Fortnite, you probably know someone who has. The game boasts more than 250 million registered users, and tonight, the best among them begin competing for their share of the biggest cash haul in esports history. Top prize in this tournament nets you a cool $3.8 million. Stephen D'Souza takes us into the big leagues.
They can barely shave. Some aren't even old enough to drive. Here in the world of Fortnite, kids don't have to look up to their heroes.
You ever get used to all this attention?
Yeah, a little bit.
Now, Arthur Ashe Stadium, where tennis greats the Williams sisters, Roger Federer and Pete Sampras played, has been transformed as gamers fight for the richest total prize pool in esports history, more than $40 million Canadian. Millions tried to qualify, only 100 made the cut. Canadian Hayden Kruger arrived in New York 2 weeks ago, playing 8 to 12 hours a day to prepare.
Going over my film, going over what mistakes we've made, our good plays, making new strategies, applying those into our games.
The Calgary-born 17-year-old is best known as Elevate. As a professional gamer, he expects to make around $150,000 just from tournaments, and that's only the beginning.
My org salary and sponsorships and Twitch and streaming revenue because people would like to watch me play. And so it kind of just all adds up and it makes it a good job.
Casually roaming Fortnite's worlds and playing the shooter against friends is free. But there are things you can buy, as parents who have to dish out know all too well.
Definitely hundreds, Possibly. I don't want to think that it's thousands, but I really don't want to add it up because it would probably scare me.
That lucrative market is fueling the esports boom. A new record for prize money will be set at an event next month.
A lot of different developers, a lot of different competitions have taken some massive venues, and I think the showmanship is just a sign of things to come.
For now, though, the eyes of the gaming world are on center court, and Elevate wouldn't have it any other way.
It's going to be insane to see really how people adapt and who really steps up to the plate and who doesn't.
Fueling dreams of big paydays where the game is anything but child's play. Stephen D'Souza, CBC News, New York.
Now, the $3.8 million prize for first is stunning, even compared to the more traditional sports we're used to watching on TV. For comparison, Novak Djokovic and Simona Halep, they also took top prizes of $3.8 million at Wimbledon. So fortnight matches tennis, and it beats golf. When Tiger Woods won at the Masters this April, he walked away with a paltry $2.7 million.
Still ahead on the National, from missing persons to suspects, we break down the police investigation into the nationwide manhunt.
And later, building a legacy for Black communities in Nova Scotia, how one grassroots movement came to be.
I got tired of attending young men's funerals. You know, that was very painful. I think just challenged me to say, okay, what can I do?
We're live here in the National, and here's some of the stories we're watching tonight. In Syria, troubling figure this week. The UN says at least 103 civilians, including children, have been killed in airstrikes in just the last 10 days.
And the response seems to be a collective shrug, with the Security Council paralyzed by the persistent failure of its 5 permanent members to agree to use their power and influence to stop the fighting and killing once and for all.
Among the areas hit by the airstrikes are medical facilities and schools. The Syrian government began an offensive in April, saying it was responding to violations of a truce. Large areas of Siberia are experiencing unprecedented wildfires this year, caused by higher than average temperatures and lightning. More than 2.3 million hectares of land are affected, and heavy smoke is drifting across the region. That's causing breathing and visibility issues. Let's return now to some of the nagging questions from one of our top stories tonight. It's been 4 days since 2 teens accused of 3 homicides in British Columbia left their last clue. A burning vehicle put them near Gillam, Manitoba. Since then, nothing, despite a growing police search. Today, police raised the possibility that Cam McLeod and Briar Schmigelski could have left the area, maybe with the help of someone who didn't recognize them. If so, it would be just another stop on a trail dotted with pain and with questions.
They're just kids on an adventure, like they're good boys.
Exactly 2 weeks ago, Briar Schmigelski's last known contact with his family, a text to his dad saying he and McLeod were heading into Alberta. He said he'd be in touch. 3 days later, Australian Lucas Fowler and American China Deese are found dead in remote northern British Columbia. The adventuring couple murdered, their families gutted.
It's a love story that's ended tragically. It really is. It's the worst ever love story.
That Friday, McLeod and Schmigelski's truck is found in flames off another BC highway. Not far away, the body of UBC lecturer Len Dick, now also a murder victim.
He loved the marine environment, and so he focused all his attention on that. But he also was really focused on his family.
The teens are first labeled as missing. On Sunday, they go shopping in Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan. By Monday, they're in northern Manitoba. That night, their last known vehicle is found in flames, once again. And on Tuesday, the RCMP changes their status.
Cam and Briar are no longer considered missing. The RCMP are now considering Cam McLeod and Briar Schmigelski as suspects.
Then they vanish. As police said today, no new sightings. But still tonight, the question is, even for the RCMP, where are the suspects? Let's get a policing perspective from Glenn Woods, a former RCMP superintendent and a former director of the RCMP Behavioral Sciences branch. He's in our Ottawa studio. And Glenn, I want to start with that video released today from earlier in the week, the 2 teens. Now, at that point, they hadn't been publicly identified as suspects, but as you watched that video, what did you think?
Well, I was taken a little bit aback by it, simply because they did not appear to be panicked or upset. They were walking through the store very nonchalant, and I was quite surprised that they weren't showing a little more paranoia, trying to avoid cameras, and spending any length of time in a public place like that.
And drawing on your behavioral sciences background, does that tell you or suggest anything to you about them?
Well, I think firstly, as you said, they hadn't been identified as suspects yet. They may have thought themselves to be invisible at that point. And secondly, I don't think we're dealing with highly experienced lifetime criminals. I don't think they have that forensic awareness and are thoughtful like career criminals are. And it shows to me the lack of experience that we would normally see in the everyday criminal.
I've never seen a case like this. I don't know about you, but I think one of the challenges for the RCMP is trying to figure out what's in their mind, where are they going next? And so the RCMP finds that burned out car in northern Manitoba, so they've deployed this huge search in the woods, but then today they're suggesting maybe there's a possibility that these suspects aren't even there. This sounds like a really tough investigation to manage.
Well, it is, because it's got several moving parts. Every time there's a location where they're sighted, it becomes almost treated like a crime scene. If they burn a vehicle, it's another crime scene. And don't forget, they're still investigating 3 homicides. They have background investigation to do with respect to these individuals to try to identify history and get a better understanding and insight into how they're thinking. Keeping in mind here, the first priority at this point for the RCMP is to arrest these guys and to arrest them and avoid any further violence to the police or the suspects.
We have just a few seconds left, but one of the intriguing things today, the RCMP saying, look, if someone helped them out and didn't realize who they were, those people should come forward. You've been in that situation before. Do you think that they may be able to coax the RCMP, coax witnesses out of the woodwork here?
I think so, and I think generally the public understands the seriousness of the offenses committed by these individuals. If it could be more comfortable for them to come forward reporting it without any feeling of being charged, I think that's going to be a big help.
Yeah, this is a tough case looking for these suspects, and we appreciate your insight. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ian.
And besides keeping your eye out for these suspects, there's another request from the RCMP tonight. Don't create or share rumors about the case online. Today they had to track down a photo that some thought was Cam McLeod. It was not.
And still ahead on the National, bringing the NBA trophy to Montreal. The Canadian Raptor inspiring a new generation in tonight's moment.
It makes me feel great. Like, he's an example for us. With him here, I can know that everything is possible.
It may have looked like an ordinary pickup game, but this tip-off in downtown Halifax last week between community members and police was about building bridges and friendships. It was organized by a group called 902 Man Up, 902 being an area code in Nova Scotia. It's a grassroots group for Black men by Black men, aimed at addressing the root causes of violence. Tonight, we revisit our in-depth documentary about how that movement came to be.
We're gonna have a little competition here for the youngins. It's who can do the best nay-nay. Come on, let's get it. Don't matter where you are. I want to see everybody do the nay-nay. Let's get it. Hey.
I think what makes Uniacke Square unique is the fact that it's a close-knit community. It's a welcoming place. It's home to a lot of people.
Okay, don't be right over, Shonda.
It's just a very special place. But there are issues, right, that needs to be addressed.
Man's world is really about no guidance, only alliance, was more young boys like me lost. Paying the cost of live by the gun, die by the bullet. No role model, just a friend that said pull it. So when I squeezed that trigger, all I could picture was a single mother trying her best. People constantly telling me to stick on my chest, running up and down that block, punching the clock, because money was the way out. We're more alike than you know, there's similarity in our traits. Man up, because we're tired of seeing men down.
My name is Marcus James, and I'm co-founder and president of 902 Man Up. 902 Man Up is men being men. Men coming back, wanting to give back to their community, doing what they can, right? You know, no matter how big that looks or how small that is, it's them giving back and just showing the compassion and giving back what was once given to them. Right?
How you guys doing? What's up, though? What's going on? How you guys doing? How are you? Right.
I've been working in the community, 27 years. I lived in the community for, God, I can't even remember, right? My kids are from this community. It's home.
Woo!
Right?
Man up!
There you go, see?
Everybody knows him, that's for sure. We all try to support each other and you know, because it's all the same cause. We're at the library.
What motivates me is the fact that I got tired of attending young men's funerals. You know, that was very painful, and talking about it and seeing people hurt, I think just challenged me to say, okay, what can I do? So we put a social media call out, and the response was amazing. We had over 100 Black men come and sit down at the table and talk about this. And it just started to develop from there. It was difficult because we had to have those hard conversations, because it started with us as older, mature Black men asking ourselves, where did we drop the ball? As fathers, uncles, where did we drop the ball with these young men, right? And so we had to start that healing process, right, before we could move on and start engaging the young men.
People need support, and that's what 902 Man Up does.
My name's Corey Wright, and 902 Man Up has made a difference in my life by giving me extra tools and extra confidence to carry on my journey.
Okay, dear, love ya. I was incarcerated twice, and the first one, I wasn't ready to change. But the second time I was in and I'm looking, I'm like, you know what, things need to change, because I don't want to keep coming in and out, in and out, in and out. I can't do that. What's going on? How you doing, brother? Yes, always. Yes. Smooth. Hey, square root. Smooth. This is where I want to be.
Still in it to win it, but give me a minute for unfinished business that I am committed to never submitting and never forgetting that I
902 Man Up. They speak to everybody individually. There's not a certain criteria that you have to fit.
all of the mission is it. I'm mixing and whipping these lyrics.
This is like you come in, you engage, they attack issues that you have. Okay, you having problems here, here, here. Let's address them, let's fix them. You have to be wanting and willing to change.
What's up, nephew?
What's up?
What's up? What you say?
Chilling.
How's it going? You good? You good?
Blast.
All right,
Blast.
all
How
right.
you doing?
Not too bad, Ma. You have a chance to see this? That's the new brochure, right?
New.
Okay. Right, just information on the group and everything, right? Yeah, nice photo of you when you're doing the presentation too. Yeah.
This is what's up.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to be handing out, right, to the public when it comes to doing information sessions. Right. That's what they'll receive. My relationship with this young man is undescribable. It really is, right? Because to be honest with you, I thought I lost him at one point in time. He knows what I'm talking about. I thought I lost him, so I felt I failed as well, right? Because I'm extremely close to him, right? But to see him today, and it's a learning curve for me. 902 Man Up has helped both of us to evolve, right? And be able to, because one of the things that we have to do as black men is be able to express our feelings to each other, right? You know, it's easy to pull a trigger or something like that, but it's difficult to look at a brother and say,
And have dialogue with him.
and have dialogue and be able to look him in his eyes and say, I love you, right? That's difficult for us, right? 902 Man Up has allowed us to be able to do that.
It means a lot. Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Love you. You know that, Ma. You know that, right? No, it should, Ma. I know it's going to be a good time, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's going to be fun, but we got to...
You gotta go over.
Stuff on the vinyl.
No, I got that. You gotta go to Joyce.
You know, I don't think it's so much issues that we're identifying as issues that never been addressed, right? You know, and that's what we're doing, right? Whether that's justice, education, health, mental health, lack of employment, you know, opportunities. We're looking at all those, right? And some cases, we're able. What's going on now? Right. In some cases, we're able to address it. In other cases, it's about finding those resources and making them available to the community, in the community, by community. And that's it right there.
John, that's a good move, man. You gonna get your GED?
Yeah, I'm gonna
try
it, bro.
No, you ain't gonna try, bro. You're gonna succeed.
Yeah, I hope so.
No, you will. All it takes is, man, you just gotta put the time in, bro. Showing up every day. You know what I'm saying? That's 3/4 of
One of the things that 902 Man Up, what we do so well, and this is what makes our group so successful, is that we don't rely on government resources. We understand, we recognize the need, and we address it. It's community supporting community.
I got it,
Yep.
but I just can't put it together.
Remember what you and I talked about?
Yeah.
One day at a time, one
Yeah,
step at a
I
time,
can't
right?
wait
Don't
one
rush
day.
it. Don't
I
rush
got
it.
you.
Right?
Just know what you do, man. You have a good day.
Love you, Papa. Love you, man.
You have a
Love
good
you.
day.
Yeah.
Best hot dogs in the city right here, buddy.
Okay, Sean, you guys, if we run out of stuff, just let me know, and I'll run and grab some more. So you have your high points, your low points. You do, right? No, we got more over here, but once we start running, let me know. I'll run to the grocery store. But what really keeps you going is when you see a young man such as Corey Wright.
The 3-point competition, come here, let me take your name down. Let me take your name down.
Turn his life completely around and accomplish and overcome barriers that other people feel, okay, you know, his life's over. No, it's not. No, it's not. And, you know, when I see that and I see him doing so well, right, I mean, that's it right there. That's the payoff right there. It's seeing him get to that next level and then him turn around, give back to his community and provide those same type of supports to younger men and women coming up behind him.
When you have a collective saying things to you, it just hits harder. It's just like, okay. And then when you look at them and you know them and it's coming from a genuine place.
Community, 902 Man Up.
It's like, oh, we're all for the same struggle. We're all for the same goals. We're all, you know what? We're a team here. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Peace. Yeah.
And we do have an update for you on this story. Corey, who you met in the piece, is still committed to helping his community. In fact, through 902 Man Up, he's now working with correctional facilities to help inmates successfully transition back into society.
Up next on The National, a homecoming celebration for a Canadian raptor in our moment. But first, in case you missed it, planet Earth dodged a cosmic bullet on Wednesday. An asteroid whizzed by, way closer to us than to the moon.
75,000 kilometers is actually a really, really close shave.
What makes this unsettling is no one saw it coming until just days before. If it had hit, that 100-meter rock could have done what we've seen in the movies.
Based on its size and based on its velocity coming in, it probably would have been something akin to a nuclear explosion. So it'd be very devastating, enough to level a city, so to speak.
Plenty of scientists watch the sky. Large facilities are devoted to it.
But they're all doing those at night. In order to find ones that are up during the day, we need to have a whole other plan for that, and that's satellites in space doing observations of the sky in the direction of the sun. And that's a lot harder to do, and we have a lot less tech doing that.
So what happens if the next surprise visitor is headed right for us?
When it comes to discovering an asteroid that's going to hit Earth within the next, say, week or so, at that point the best we can do is really clear areas that we think it might hit.
Mom? Yeah. Still a little scared. Oh, sweetheart. In time, you'll lose the weight. Get out!
You might remember Chris Boucher, the Toronto Raptor who wore a giant Canadian flag around his shoulders for days after their big NBA win. He's the only actual Canadian on the team, and one of his goals is to put Montreal on the basketball map. And today, he got much closer to that goal, bringing the coveted Larry O'Brien trophy to the city he calls home. People pack the park surrounding Boucher, many who want to be just like him. And the Montrealers he's inspired, they're our moment.
Chris Boucher! Chris Boucher! Chris Boucher!
Do you want to play in the NBA one day?
Yes.
He's a great example for the rest of the kids who are coming up, who are looking up to him. A lot of our players have NBA aspirations, so he shows that it's very possible and it's within their grasp.
Comme j'ai dit, on m'appelle moi le champion, mais tout le monde qui est ici à Montréal, on est tous des champions. Il n'y a pas juste moi.
To see that a guy from Montreal bring an NBA trophy, it's unbelievable for real.
During all his hard work, he brings people together. And by bringing all these kids together and making them see it's possible, it's a wonderful feeling.
We always say anything is possible, but he's the living proof.
We the North Star.
And you know, Ian, whether it's meeting a basketball player or an astronaut or a singer or a movie star, it can be so profound to meet someone whom you idolize. And that's something, you don't forget in your lifetime. And even someone in Chris Boucher's position may not even realize just how big of an impact he has, but good to see him thinking of all the folks who look up to him.
And he is, as you know, part of this new generation of Canadian NBA players and NBA prospects. So we've had a Canadian MVP, Steve Nash. He won the award, of course, twice. And we've now had a Canadian NBA champion, the Raptors. Imagine, Andrew, if those two things came together. League MVP playing for Toronto in a year they win the championship. Imagine what the scenes will be like then.
Yeah.
That is the National for Friday, July 26th. Good night.
Good night.